As you might already know, salmon is one of the most popular sushi items. However, back in the time when sushi culture was first established, transportation between the fishing ports and to the market was not as convenient as today, and a salmon-like fish, which requires freshness, was difficult to be brought in. Even nowadays, some traditional bar counter type of sushi restaurants do not serve salmon. On the other hand, since it is reasonable, sweet, and easy to eat, salmon is now commonly used among the conveyor belt type of sushi restaurants, and it is part of the important ingredients among the worldwide sushi culture. Since salmon spend part of their lives in fresh water, they often carry tapeworms. For the larvae to be killed, the fish must be cooked or frozen at -31 Fahrenheit or colder for 15 hours. Make sure that the salmon you are buying has been frozen properly and recently. Place the fish on the cutting board with the head to the left and the belly facing you. If you are left-handed, reverse the direction of the head of the fish here and equivalent directions elsewhere, and use your left hand to wield the knife throughout the instructions. There are 3 points on the fish that form a line to guide you in cutting off the head. To locate the first one, run your finger along the top side of the head toward the dorsal fin, where you feel a change from hard bone to firm flesh. You have reached the first point. A second point is just to the right side of the pectoral fin, and the last point is just straight down from the pectoral fin. Grab and lift up from the third point with your left hand and place the knife at 45-degree angle toward the head of the fish. Starting the slice along the right side of the gill cover and pectoral fin, and end just right of the head, slicing down to the backbone but not through the fish. Turn the fish over so that the head is to the left and the dorsal fin is facing you. Using the knife at the same 45-degree angle to start, repeat the procedure in reverse. This time, cutting off the head by changing the angle of the knife to straight down to cut through the backbone. Work carefully to avoid damaging the entrails. Some entrails have a strong odor and/or extremely bitter and can contaminate the flesh. Remove the gills and save the head for making stock if desired. Turn the fish over so the belly is facing you. Starting at the anus, insert the tip of the knife into the fish and draw the knife up to the head end, cutting open the belly. Remove and discard the entrails. Rinse the cavity with cold running water. Place the fish back on the cutting board with the tail side to the left, the head side to the right, and the belly facing you. Place the 4 fingers of your left hand on the body and gently press down on the back side so that stomach rises up. Keep the initial cut shallow so that you know where the spines are. Starting at the anus, make a shallow cut through the skin toward the tail, going through just above the anal fin. You should feel the spines underneath the knife blade. Stay as close to the spines as possible to waste less flesh by leaving it on the bone. Use your left thumb to lift and open the front end of the top fillet. Place the knife at the same entry point and make a deeper cut, sliding the knife all the way along the backbone. Turn the fish clockwise, moving the head side to the left and the tail to the right, and a dorsal fin facing you. Keep the initial cut shallow so that you know where the spines are. Place the knife at the tail and along the soft dorsal fin and cut toward the head end, staying just above the spiny dorsal fin and ending at the head end. You should feel the spines underneath the knife blade as you work. Use your left thumb to lift and open the front of the top fillet. Then slice open from the tail to the head side along the backbone. Remove the knife from the fish. Turn the knife to face the head end and insert the knife in the same location, but with the tip 1 inch past the backbone. Hold the tail firmly, using a kitchen towel if necessary to make it more secure. Holding the blade with a slightly downward angle along the backbone, and using full force slide the knife toward the head side to cut through and disconnect the ribcage bones from the backbone. Place the upper fillet on the prepared area, and turn the half-filleted fish counterclockwise, moving the head side to the right. Place the tip of the knife just underneath the edge of the backbone, holding the blade with a slightly upward angle along the backbone, and using full force slide the knife toward the tail side and cut off the backbone. Make sure to use a kitchen towel for your safety. Hold the rib cage with your forefingers of your left hand and place the knife under the rib cage. Keep the knife against the rib cage and slice it off little by little. You should feel the rib bones above the knife blade as you work, so that you waste less flesh by leaving it on the bone. Slide your left index finger along the middle of the fillet from the head end to the tail end. You should feel the sharp ends of the pin bones sticking out from the fillet. Start from the head end, use fish tweezers to pull out the pin bone. Repeat until all the pin bones are removed. Slice off the dorsal bone. Just like when you slice the rib cage, move your knife along the dorsal bone so that you won't cut off the flesh. If you started with a whole fish that weighed more than 2 pounds, the fillet may be about 6 inches wider, which would be too wide to make 3-inch long slices for nigiri sushi. You need to split the fillet in half lengthwise at the middle. Likewise, if it's too thick to make 1-inch wide slices for sushi, split the upper half of the fillet. The skin of the fish protects the flesh from oxidation, so it is best not to remove it until just before you are ready to use the fish. Place the knife tip directly next to your fingertip and slice down to the skin. When the blade reaches the skin, using a small sewing motion, gradually changing the angle of the knife so that the blade is flat. Now begin cutting toward the right, between the flesh and the skin. Once there is enough skin exposed to grasp, hold the skin firmly with your left hand and continue cutting until you reach the end of the fillet. There is GI part in between the flesh and skin, which is a fish meat with a bloody color. Place the skin side up and remove the GI if desired. The half of the stomach fillet is the part so-called salmon toro or salmon belly, which contains plenty of fat. Separate it by cutting it off straight. Usually the white skin color stays on salmon belly, which makes it look shiny, so you don't need to remove it. Slice the GI from the other side of the fillet. Similarly, remove the rib cage, pin bone, and skin from the first fillet.